What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Thursday, March 16th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, we have a 5-game slate tonight. So let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Killian Hayes from the Detroit Pistons playing the Denver Nuggets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing point guards. Killian Hayes has scored 38, 31, and 49 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 35, 28, and 36 minutes. He's projected at 33 fantasy points here tonight. That's just about 5 times value. He's 6,700 DraftKings salary, 200 more on FanDuel, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 228.5 points scored in this game. So Killian Hayes, he's playing a bunch of minutes. He's been productive. I think his salary is just right here. If he can play 35 minutes here tonight, he's averaging 0.96 fantasy points per minute. So I think he's got some good upside. So I like Killian Hayes here versus the Denver Nuggets. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I have 2 value plays for you here. High risk, high reward plays. Now, one of them certainly does stand out over the other one, so I'll give you that one first. I like Malik Monk from the Sacramento Kings playing the Brooklyn Nets, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Malik Monk has averaged 24.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 22 minutes per game with a 26% usage rate. He's projected at 24.5 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.4 times value. Only 4,500 DraftKings salary, 700 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 237.5 points scored in this game. And Malik Monk has scored 34, 19, and 38 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 23, 20, and 24 minutes. So this guy can rack up a lot of fantasy points in a short period of time. So even if he only plays 20 to 24 minutes here tonight, he's got 30 plus fantasy point upside. And if he gets his season average, it's going to get you over 5 times value. So I like Malik Monk, who scored 27, 36, and 32 fantasy points in his last 3 games versus the Brooklyn Nets. So I like Malik Monk here versus the Brooklyn Nets. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. So considering that Malik Monk is 4,500 DraftKings salary, the other sleeper pick that I have for you here, I don't like him nearly as much as Malik Monk. His ownership surely will be much lower, but I do think he has 25 to 30 plus fantasy point upside if he can get going. So just take a look at Gary Trent Jr. Now this guy can absolutely burn your lineup. He scored 19, 8, and 14 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 25, 21, and 23 minutes. So he has been underperforming his season average in both minutes and production. so you might want to stay away from Gary Trent Jr., but he got a great matchup here versus the Oklahoma City Thunder, who he has scored very well in the past. He scored 18, 31, 40, 45, and 41 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Thunder. So if you're in a tournament and you're just looking for someone that probably not a lot of other people are going to play, a guy who definitely has got some upside, maybe he comes in and has a good game versus OKC because he's got that good player versus team history. So I like Gary Trent Jr. as a sleeper pick here versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. So I like Michael Porter Jr. from the Denver Nuggets playing the Detroit Pistons, who have the second worst defense overall, middle of the pack defending opposing small forwards. Michael Porter Jr. has averaged 28.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 29 minutes per game with a 22% usage rate. Now, he's projected at 32 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.3 times value. He's 6,000 DraftKings salary, 100 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 228.5 points scored in this game. And Michael Porter Jr. has scored 39, 35, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 32, 22, and 20 minutes. So you just got to hope that he plays close to his season average here tonight. He's averaging 1.01 fantasy points per minute on the season. So I like Michael Porter Jr., who scored 34 fantasy points in his last game versus the Detroit Pistons.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. So I like Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have the 7th worst defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing power forwards. Scotty Barnes has averaged 35 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 35 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. He's projected at 35.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's close to 5 times value. I think he's got 40 plus fantasy point upside in this matchup. He's 7,300 DraftKings salary. He's 900 more on FanDuel, so I think a little bit expensive on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 230.5 points scored in this game. Scotty Barnes has scored 34, 56, and 36 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 37, 38, and 36 minutes. So monster minutes, fantastic production. He scored 30, 26, and 42 fantasy points in his last 3 games versus the Thunder. So I like Scotty Barnes here versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Nicholas Claxton from the Brooklyn Nets playing the Sacramento Kings, who have the 10th worst defense overall, middle of the pack defending opposing centers. Nicholas Claxton has averaged 33.1 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 29 minutes per game with a 16% usage rate. He's projected at 32.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's just about 5 times value. He's 6,600 DraftKings salary. He's 1,100 more on FanDuel, so I love that DraftKings price. Vegas thinks there's going to be 237.5 points scored in this game, so it's a high-scoring game. I think this is a good game to stack. Nicholas Claxton has scored 33, 37, and 33 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 38, 28, and 35 minutes. And he did put up 52 fantasy points earlier in the season versus the Kings. So I like Nicholas Claxton here versus the Sacramento Kings.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.